So, hello, good afternoon again everyone. Naapa mo? Okay, so first and foremost, no, sorry for being late na yun siguro, no, late ng class orientation for this subject. It's because of some arrangements pa nga gibuhat, no. So basically duha ka sections ang GE 121, natunga siya sa ako ug kang Miriam. Again, no, GE 121 Geodetic Surveying is two sections, no, CLMNO1 ug CDEFG1. And ang isa ka section ako and ang isa ka section is kang Miriam. So as you can see in your COR, no. And nasabutan na mo ni Ma'am Yam na para isa lang ang instruction, mode of instruction rather sa inyo for two sections is siya ang sa lecture, then I'm the one who is responsible for your laboratory activities. And supposedly si Ma'am Yam is mag-start na sa inyong orientation and your classes for lectures, but unfortunately na ay travel si Ma'am Yam, no. So nakisuyo siya sa na ako na lang sa ang mag-class orientation sa inyo karon, no, para maka-start na jud og klase ang inyong GE 121. So today class orientation ta, what is geodetic surveying is all about, what are the topics that are included in this subject, and as well as the laboratory activities that we are going to be conducted, no, for the whole semester. So again, no, kailan naman sa kuha. So I'm your instructor, supposedly, no, basically your laboratory instructor. So I'm Engineer Arnaldo Gagula. So this material is authored and contributed by these faculty members, no. So basically i-update ang mga contents, no, for this presentation. And here is for the copyright notice, no. So aside naman mo ani na all the lecture materials are copyrighted by the Department of Geodetic Engineering of the Caraga State University. So you are not allowed to share it to another parties, no, including the other students, no, nga nagsunod sa inyo or other persons na outside sa Caraga State University without prior notice or without authorization of the contributors and authors and for the Department of Geodetic Engineering of Caraga State University. So let's go to the course description and details. So by the way class, this will be quick lang, no, na meeting. So aside naman ko na oriented na mutanan for halos tanan niyo mga subject is nag-conduct of orientation. So quick lang ni siya. Then we have I have lecture materials and videos naman po for this GE 121. So expect na magsunod na dayon ang course materials and the lecture videos and assessment activities na i-conduct sa inyo. So without further ado, let's go to the course description and details of GE 121. So basically, geodetic surveying or GE 121. So this includes on the discussion on the principles and methods of the establishment of and densification of horizontal and vertical geodetic control networks, and including also the standards of accuracies of establishing a control networks, laboratory exercises introduced to the students, to instruments and handling the practical surveying applications. So si geodetic surveying, no, more on the establishment of geodetic control networks. So kung familiar na mo ng mga AGN, no, kanang AGS, BLLM, sa pamaylain na mga gipang establish sa NAMRIA, sa DIN, RLMS. So kana nga process is itudlo na tanan diri sa inyo sa geodetic surveying, including also the establishment of benchmarks or kanang elevation, no. So si geodetic surveying mo tackle all about sa unsaon pag-establish sa geodetic control networks, vertical and horizontal nga mo conform siya sa standards nga gi-establish ato sa atong manual. So geodetic surveying consists of 4 units. That's 2 unit lecture and 2 units for laboratory. So all in all, for the whole week, so we will allotted 8 hours for geodetic surveying. For the course outcomes, so these are the expected outcomes, no, when you complete this course, no. First is to explain and apply the concepts related to geometric geodesy and satellite positioning system as preparation to geodetic control networks. So ang atuang fundamentals jud na knowledge in this course is the geodesy, specifically on the geometric geodesy, which is more on horizontal positioning, and sa satellite positioning or kanang gitawag nato nga satellite geodesy. So kana nga mga fundamental courses ang atong magamit, no, kung unsay inyong nahibaw-an dito sa katong mga subjects. So that would be a great help, no, in understanding this subject or this course. Next is to explain the principles governing and procedures involved in the establishment of horizontal and vertical geodetic control networks. So since si NAMRIA and si DENR LMS are those agencies nga naga buhat og standards o nagabuhat og methods, no, on how to establish a control networks in a due process or katong mga methods jud na gamiton, which is mo conform siya sa ato ang standards. The next is to comply with accepted standards of accuracy and specifications for geodetic control network establishment and operating geodetic control survey technology. Dapat mo comply ang atuang gi-establish na geodetic control network or GCP is dapat mo conform siya sa atuang standards, which is katong primary control, secondary control, and first order accuracy, second order accuracy, and so on. Dapat mo conform jud siya ana. So next is to solve computational problems related to horizontal and vertical control establishment. That includes processing of raw data, removal of systematic errors, and adjustment and or distribution of random errors. So dili malikayan na when we solve actual or raw data, no, from the field, there are errors, no, nga atong ma-encounter. So natun-anan ninyo before sa inyong GE 103, I think, and geodetic computations and adjustment. So kadto nga mga methods nga inyong gi-imply is magamit to siya diri sa geodetic surveying para ang ato ang ma-establish na control is mo-conform siya sa standard. Lastly is to apply the knowledge and skills in geodesy needed for the establishment and maintenance of the reference system both in local and international. So mo niya kung gi-istorya ka ganina na we need to have a strong fundamentals, no, especially in geodesy kay dira magikan ang concepts, no, in application of geodetic surveying. So much for the course outcomes. So let's go to the outline of the geodetic surveying, mga topics na nag-involve for geodetic surveying. So we have topic 1, which is all about introduction to geodetic surveying. So natunga ni siya into 4 parts, I think, no. So first part is the review of general surveying concepts and principles, no. So ato ang balikan ang inyong surveying concepts, no, which includes the classification of surveys, what are the types of surveys, no, operations in surveying, and more on the concept of the geodetic surveying and plane surveying. So kay lahi na sila, no. When we say plane surveying, so you are treating all your or nagpalibot sa imuha is horizontal lang ang iyahang plane. Murag horizontal lang siya, isa lang siya ka dimension, which is horizontally. While the geodetic surveying, so we are going to take into consideration the curvature and refraction of the Earth. Okay, since in geodesy subject, we are taught, no, nga the Earth is not flat, but kuan siya, no, round, or na siya curve, no? So natudlo na sa inyo sa geodesy 1. ng mga subjects. Next is geodetic surveying concepts and principles. Then review of the reference systems and reference frame, geodetic datum, and reference ellipsoid. So mubalik ta adto nga mga concepts, no? So unsay ellipsoid yung gamit sa Philippines, unsa ang height na datum or ang kanang geoid model rather nga gigamit sa Philippines, no? So kanang mga concept is crucial, no, when we apply in the geodetic surveying na class. Then next is the geodetic control networks or GCN establishment and densification, which includes horizontal control surveys, vertical control surveys, and the combined horizontal and vertical control surveys. So horizontal control surveys, so mutakal diri atong sa una to pag-determine ang latitude and longitude of the specific point and the northings and eastings na corresponds sa atong specific point. Vertical control survey, so more on the determination of the heights, no? And dati gitawag nga combine. I-combine na nato sa vertical o horizontal. So labayan nato siya og coordinate sa horizontal at the same time ang vertical. Then next is the traditional geodetic surveying, no? Methodologies for horizontal control network establishment. So, unsay ginagamit na method before on how to establish a control network in horizontal. First is mobalik ta sa concept sa traversing, no? So, mo magiday hantod karon, no? Mo gina-imply especially if we are using total station, we are using transit, no? And so on. So, hangtod karon, even though traditional siya, pero ang concept and methods nga gina-imply is the same lang gihapon. Next is ang triangulation, no? Triangulation, networks of the triangles. And we are using angles, no, on determination of the spatial information of the specific point. And lastly is the trilateration. Trilateration, same concept with the triangulation, but the trilateration is uses, no, the sides instead of angles. And lastly is for the classification and standards of accuracy of the horizontal control surveys. Katong pilay error, pilay allowable error for primary control, secondary control, tertiary, and as well as the accuracy. Okay? First order, second order, third order, and fourth order. So, ito nag-discuss din nga topic. Next is the GNSS-based geodetic surveying methodologies for horizontal control network establishment. So, natapos naman ta sa traditional na part, no, which is ang triangulation, trilateration, and traversing. So, we have these new technology trends, no, na magamit na for application of geodetic surveying, which is ang GNSS, no, or kanang ginatawag din yung RTK. So by using RTKs or GNSS receivers, we can establish a control point, no, using those technology. So under ano nga topic is natay mga subtopics, no? We have the overview of the GNSS. So what is GNSS? What are the components of GNSS, and so on, no? Next is the basic GNSS concept, no? Kung unsaon giunsa pag-calculate sa technology ang mga control network or control station nga information na makakuha siya og elevation, makakuha siya og northings and eastings, and the latitude and longitude. Next is the GNSS system. So, diri nga part sa GNSS systems is atong i-tackle ang different components, no, sa GNSS na atay katong nasa ground, na user, na sa gawas, no, gawas sa outer space ng mga components. So, ato na siyang i-discuss sa topic 3. Next is how to resolve GNSS errors, no, and introduction to GNSS positioning techniques, no. Of course, no, even GNSS technology has error, no, nga ma-encounter. So, di na mawala, no, when it comes to acquiring data from the ground. And we're going to, in this sub topic po, no, is atong i-discuss ang the positioning techniques, no, kanang gitawag yung RTK, that's a positioning techniques, no. Pero ang instrument or the technology is what we call GNSS, no. RTK is positioning technique na siya. So sunod dira ang PPK, static. So that's no, the positioning techniques na gina-employ. So usually ang ginagamit is ang RTK or kanang real-time kinematic nga positioning technique. Next is ang positioning modes. Actually sumpay ra ni sila sa kaning introduction to positioning techniques. No? And also, we are going to discuss the specifications and survey procedures for GNSS-based control surveys in the Philippines. No? So, since kay nag-employ man tag yung technology, so dapat naapod tayo standards, no, na ginasunod for this specific nga mga technology. No? The standards on establishing the control networks of the Philippines. Next is the Topic 4, which is all about geodetic surveying methodologies for vertical control network establishment and densification. So since natapos naman ta sa horizontal, so ato dyan pong i-discuss diriya si vertical, which is all about the methodologies and different processes on how we are going to establish, no, or densify the vertical control networks in the Philippines. So we have here the geodetic leveling. No, geodetic leveling. Basically, it's the concept of the geodetic leveling is same in the differential leveling, three-wire leveling, and the so pa ng isa, three-wire, differential, and profile leveling. Thank you, Sir Ken. No, profile leveling. Pero ang nakalainan lang is in this part of geodetic leveling, so we are taking into consideration the curvature and refraction of the Earth, no? Kaya sa itong naibawan sa una, leveling backside plus backside plus katong elevation sa benchmark is equals to height of instrument, no? Diba? Inga na ang mga concept. Pero, gi-take na to siya as consideration na ang ato ang gi-survey nga ground is plain, no, dili siya mao sa concept sa geodetic survey, which is kung magkalayo ang inyong distance na ginalabayan og elevation, so naagid pud na siya curvature nga dapat i-take into consideration as well as the refraction. The next is ang classification and standards of accuracy in geodetic leveling or the leveling as a whole. And next is the specifications for vertical control surveys. So, sa topic 4 na to na siya i-discuss. And lastly is the topic 5, no? Topic 5 na tataman ani nga na subject, no? Geodetic surveying methodologies for vertical control network establishment and densification. So, masulod diri si geodetic leveling, classification and standards and accuracy. Okay, sorry class. Ang kaning subtopics is same lang ni siya sa topic 4. Dapat di ay wala ni siya subtopics, no? Sa topic 5. So, ang sa topic 5 wala siya subtopic, so isa lang gid siya ka topic natong i-discuss, which is ang kaning methodologies, no? Then okay, so much for the course outline, no? So those are the topics natong i-discuss for the whole semester in GE 121. Then let's go to the laboratory exercises. Now, for laboratory exercises, we have I think 6 laboratory exercises for this subject. First is the establishment of horizontal control using triangulation. No? So lab 1. So mag-triangulation mo. For the information of everyone, no, si geodetic surveying is one of the subjects that are subject for the courses that are subject for face-to-face, no, classes, no. And during sa pag pag-craft na mo sa syllabus or pag-update sa syllabus. So, I have proposed, no, I proposing nga ang kaning laboratory exercises sa GE 121 will be in face-to-face, no, delivery. So, muanhin mo sa CSU to conduct the laboratory exercises. But for the lectures is it will be delivered purely online. And also, besides sa laboratory exercises, ang inyong exam is gi-propose siya for in a face-to-face, no, delivery. So sa inyong midterms and finals and laboratory exercises, it will be implemented in the face-to-face mode. While the delivery of the topics 1 to 5 is online nang gyapon, no, or katong mga recorded videos. Okay, so that's for laboratory exercise number 1, no, establishment of horizontal control using triangulation. The next one is the laboratory exercise 2, which is all about establishment of horizontal control using trilateration. No? So sa lab 1, triangulation or katong angles atong gamiton to establish, no, a control stage, a control point, no, rather. So sa lab 2, same ra ang process pero distances ang atong gina-calculate or gina-acquire sa graph. Then for laboratory exercise number 3, so static genesis data processing. So we were using, no, PCs for this one. So I hope na by this laboratory exercise 3 is makonduct na to siya in the geomatics laboratory for face-to-face implementation. Then for laboratory exercise number 4 is the ground control point establishment using the GNSS technology. So we are using RTKs or katong GNSS receivers in establishing the ground control point. And for laboratory exercise number 5 is we will be employing geodetic leveling. Dinilagyan po na sa CSU, no, ikanda. And laboratory exercise number 6 is the combined horizontal and vertical control establishment. So, since ang atong lab 1 and 2 is more on horizontal control, then naapod tay laboratory exercise number 5, which is the geodetic leveling. So, in lab 6, atong ang i-combine ang horizontal o ang vertical. So, from the known point, kinaapod siya na siya 2D or the horizontal and the elevation. So ato siyang ilabay sa another control points. Pero duha na ka-data ang atong ilabay ito nga point. The next is for the textbooks and references, no. So these are the references for these courses, no. So we have the Higher Surveying by Laput, 2nd edition, the Surveying Theory and Practice by Anderson, Surveying Theory and Practice na 6th edition, same with Anderson, Davis, and Nick Hale. Then we have also Geodetic Surveying by Kersley, and Theory and Practice in Surveying for Geodetic Engineers by Bisavilla. And these three memorandum, no, or the administrative orders that was given by the DENR, which is ato ang concerned agency. So, muna siya, no, ang DAO 2007-29, DAO 1998-12, and the DMC 2010-13. So, for the, let's go to, so much na for the course introduction. So, let's go to the course management and policies. Itong i-discuss. Okay, so the course will be delivered online, no, for lecture via University Online Learning Management or LMS. So ako muna akong i-discuss sa ganina na so lecture will be delivered through online, and so laboratory exercises including the midterm and final exam will be done in the face-to-face. But i-propose pa ni siya, no, pero dakong tendency na ma-push through ni nga propose to. Then only the students officially enrolled in this course shall be given access to the course LMS page. So napabay wala na enroll, sa atong LMS. So kung naapa, kindly message me, no, para maatagan dayon mo ang access. So student may need to manually request to be added as course participants by clicking the corresponding link in the LMS website. Pero sa ato ang case is kami naman instructor ang nag-enroll sa inyo sa LMS. Next is the students are required to participate in online course activities on weekly basis. No? But sa ato ang course diri sa GE121, so dili siya weekly basis but more on topic basis. No? Topic siya. Topic 1, then na siya different parts. Then, students shall participate in course activities by clicking the corresponding links on the teaching learning activities or TLAs and graded course requirements in the course LMS webpage. The TLAs may consist of pre-recorded lecture videos. No? In our case, so recorded videos ang ihatag sa inyo ha. And pwede po siya online lecture via live streaming. So, depende nakamamiyam noon sa niya pag-deliver, but as to the instruction pa niya sa pagkakaroon is ako ang mo-conduct og course orientation and ang uban na mga topics is i-deliver niya it's either online or mag-online class mo or gabiton to niya ako ang lecture video. So magulat lang ta kung unsa ang iyahang instruction, no, for lecture videos. Then any TLA or graded course requirement shall be completed or compiled on or before a date and a time specified by the instructor before proceeding to the next TLA or graded course requirement. So this is important, no, and I know na nakasabot na mo ani na if ever naga ni graded assessment ihatag si instructor is you need to comply on comply niyo siya sa katong date nga gihatag as deadline, no, sa inyong instructor. So of course kung malate na gid siya in consequences, it's either ipapasa gyapon sa inyo para dili mo ma-INC kay ang kumbaga kung unsay policy na gihatag sa inyong instructor is mo jud siya ang sundon. So dapat diri pa lang daan sa ato ang orientation is nagkasinabot na ta, no, kung sa ato pag deliver ang inyong subject. So na tendency na kung dili makatake, so considered as 0, no. Parehas gyapon sa laboratory exercises. Ingana gyapon siya. And next is all provisions of the CSU student handbook on class policy shall be applied. So, kung wala diri sa ato ang gidiscuss karon, no, the student handbook will apply. No? So, I hope na nakuha na ninyo inyong student handbook, no, para mabasa na ninyo ang mga class policies nga na-added to. So, let's go to the academic integrity. Each student in this course is expected to abide the standards of academic integrity. So you are all required to commit to academic integrity to show respect for your own work and the work of your peers. No, so dapat i-ensure ninyo na inyuhang output is inyuhang gitong gihaguan. Dili lang kay nagsalig mo sa inyong kauban nga mo ay mo nagbuhat na sa inyong activity tapos sundugon na dayon. So besides sa kanang ni-abide mo sa academic integrity or wala mo ni-abide sa academic integrity or in the name of the academic integrity, so dapat irespeto po ninyo ang trabaho sa uban. Okay, dili po lali magbilar-bilar just to comply the requirements na gihatag sa inyo sa instructor. Then your assignments, your answer to assignments, quizzes, laboratory exercise, or exams, and other grade course requirement must be on your own work, except for those requirements that are explicitly permitted for collaboration. Now, collaboration such as discussing assignments with peers is allowed as long as it is specified in a particular teaching learning activity with corresponding evaluation measures. No? So dapat ang inyong answer sa inyong activities or graded activities must be your own work, no? Except pra kung inon mo sa inyong instructor na you are allowed to collaborate, no, or to brainstorm so that you can makabuo mo og isa ka output na mas nindot, okay, no? Pero kung kanang individual na activity such as quizzes and exams, so you need to do it on your own. Next is the you are not allowed, or you are not allowed to share your answers or solutions to graded course requirements with anyone else unless explicitly permitted by your instructor. So cheating, no? So dili magid na siya gina-permit, no, nga mag-cheat mo or i-share ninyo ang inyong answer sa uban. So kinahanglan kasaytana, no? And this includes anything written by you as well as solutions provided in the course materials, no? So kung mag-answer mo sa inyong solutions, no, i-try og solve na kanang kamo jud, no? Para proud pud mo na mo present sa inyong answers na inyong gid pong hinaguan, no? Next is academic dishonesty will not be tolerated, no? And again and again, no? Remind yun sa inyo na dili yun dapat i-tolerate na maging dishonest, no, academically. Unsa man example sa academic dishonesty? So ato ang i-discuss in the next slide. No, any students have found or participated in academic dishonesty will receive a grade of 5.0 in this course and may be subject to further disciplinary action. So we have nanay mga students, no, na nasampulan ani, no, for academic dishonesty. Wala ka pa dayon og geodetic engineering course tungod sa academic dishonesty. Actually, tulo or duha na nasampulan ani. So wala na sila ka-enroll, wala na sila gipa-enroll sa geodetic engineering sa GE tungod kay they are doing this dishonesty, no, academically. So I hope na sa inyong batch, no, walay maigana tuhod kaloy-an, no? So dapat kung naawang galing tay makita na dili mao, so ayun lang gid padayon. So kung mali jud na siya, dili na siya mahimong tama. Then the code of conduct prohibits students from mao na siya ang mga academic dishonesty. Example, academic fraud, no, pagpanglimbong. Example, mo take mo og prerequisite ninyo nga subject, mo take mo og geodetic surveying na subject pero wala pa din ninyo napasar ang prerequisite. Example, GE 109, no, na-enroll ninyo. Tapos lagi, no, pwede man na kintahay before INC mo sa GE 109 ba ang, yes, 109 man ang prereq ani. So INC, so na-enroll ang inyong GE 121. So wala mo nagsaba sa inyong instructor nga wala pa dayon yung na-pass ang inyong GE 109. So that's one way of fraud, no, academically, inyong bilimbungan, no. Nag-take mo isa ka subject without what do you call this one? Nag-take mo og GE 121 without passing the prerequisite, which is ang GE 109. So ayo paabutan na mo, abot na mo sa higher year, tapos later on na realize niyo nga mali dito inyong gibuhat, no. So that's fraud, no, bawal na siya. So next is engaging in activities that will dishonestly improve your results or dishonesty improves or damage the result of the others, no. So bisag wrong chicken, no, ingan na nga example, or nakay kasuko sa imong classmate, nakay kalagot sa iya, no, nalagot jud ka sa iya, ha, no. So instead na check iyang answer o trohon nimo, so that's academic fraud. That's one way of that's academic dishonesty rather, no. So dapat kung sa iyang answer mao ra jud na ang ato ang para tayo mapasar ay imong friend na classmate. So himuon nimong check bisag imong check bisag wrong siya. So academic dishonesty na siya. The next is copying or allowing one's work to be copied, fabrication or falsification. To be copied, o nasa allowing one's work to be copied or cheating, no? So that's academic dishonesty. Next is fabrication or falsification. So buhat-buhatan, no? Kanang bisag wala gyud to sa field or wala gi what do you call this one? Wala mo nag-field tapos gibuhat-buhatan na ninyo ang inyong laboratory exercises. So dili na pwede, no? Dapat kung may ng instructor na i-execute niyo na sa field, you need to execute those one para maka-acquire mo og data, then ma-apply niyo siya into the real world na scenario. Next is sabotage of others' work, no? Kintahay itong face-to-face, no? During face-to-face, ipadala sa imong classmate ang iyahang answer sa imuha. Tapos kay lagi nakikasuko sa iyaha, wala nimo gipasa. So gisabotahin nimo na instead na dako to siya og score, wala na lang tungod kay wala man napasa, wala na acquire or wala na checkan ni instructor kay wala man gipasa. Next is substitution, no? Example, you are going to take an exam for someone else, no? So example, no? Na mas maguyag diri sa kanina subject sa kanina section, no? So tabi magkauyab silang duha, si boy o si girl, then na late si girl, no, during sa exam o sa quiz. Tapos kay lagi uyaban sila, so gitake ni boy ang iyang uyab, so gibuhatan niya answer, so gecheckan pero wala dito, dili physically present or late si girl. So ingana nga status is that's a big foul, no? Academic dishonesty jud na siya kaayo. Then nana po niya sampulan ana, no? By the way, nana sampulan ana na nahibaw-an na gitekan sa lalaki ang babae o sa iyang quiz, tapos nahibaw-an nga absent di ay to si babae during sa pag-take sa quiz. So katong nga case is niabot siya sa VPAA or sa academic affairs. So itong una-unaon na bisan pag-uyab mo, no? So buhaton na ninyo yung tanan para makaluwas mo or makapasar mo ani nga subject without compromising or without doing academic dishonesties, no? So kung diri pa lang daan, no, naglimbong na mo, so how much more pag abot niyo sa inyong actual field or sa inyong actual na trabaho. So you need to abide those kay di ba sa trabaho kay attitude really matters, no? Bisan pa kung sa ola to na ka isagun sa taka maayo, isagun sa taka bright, pero kung ato ang attitude is dili ka aya-aya, di gid yapon mo succeed, no? So sige, next is okay. If you have doubts for this discussion, no, about academic dishonesty or integrity, so you can ask me, no, or basin naamoy provision sa inyong handbook na wala ninyo nasabtan, so you can approach me, no, para to ang ma-discuss. Next is circulating or selling class materials, no. Unless otherwise stated, all the course materials and related resources are copyrighted by your instructor. Mga to bitaw ng every lecture materials is na siya copyright notice kay. It's because these materials are being copyrighted. Labi na sa kaning na ay logos, no? Logo sa GE, sa SU, sa college, no? So copyrighted na siya. So kinahanglan na mangayo mo permission para ihatag sa uban. Kung dili mo sugot gani si author, so wala jud kay lain mabuhat, no? So you are not allowed to circulate or sell any of these materials or resources. Then please report any violations to your instructor. So nana po niya sampulan ani, no? Student sa GE. Especially karon, no, kay kuan ra ba online classes. Dili na mo ma-monitor, dili na mo ma-track unsa gid ang giagihan or unsay inyong activities, no, through online. So there comes a student, no, so lagi tungod kay nag-research siya sa iyang mga subject and Nabi uban na site no ang mga tag-answer. No? Kintahay, imo lang i-type ang question sa Google. Then ay mo gawas, no? Example, Course Hero. No, kana siya. Example na siya sa site na mga tag-answers labi nagkatong na ay nag-upload, no? And isa sa mga patakaran sa Course Hero is you need to upload a file para ma-download nimo ay mong gikinahanglan nga file, no? Intay example, answers to siya sa imuhang na research. So kinahanglan nimo i-upload. So ang gitabo ng student, gi-upload niya ang mga lecture materials sa iyang instructor without permission sa iyang instructor. Then suddenly, si instructor nag-browse pud sa internet kay nag-research about unsaon pud niya pag-deliver ang iyang klase karon kay syempre every semester in a year kas ara man namo ni itudlo ning geodetic surveying. So na tendency nga makalimot mi, no? So naamo na pong i-research otro kung unsaon namo pag-deliver. So niabot sa point na nakita ni instructor iyang PowerPoint presentation sa kadto na site. So na-call ang attention nato nga student, then gitigaan og immediate na disciplinary actions, no? So kung gusto mo nga dili mo moabot, kung gusto mo nga dili na moabot sa inyo nga situation, so you need to abide this kaninga provisions, no, on circulating or sending class materials. Again, if napud mo makit-an, no, sa different sites nga gigamit ang mga PowerPoint presentations without permission by the faculty, so you can report to us, no. Dili lang sa kuha, no, sa uban faculty, no, sila ni Sir Kendall, Ma'am Mona, Sir Junlove, Ma'am Yam, Sir Jean, Ma'am Chris, Ma'am Maria, og si Sir Jonel, og si Ma'am Aubrey. So pag namin makit-an na ilahang materials is naa sa internet, so you can report to us para matrace nato siya. Then accommodations for student with disabilities, no. So your access in this course is important, no, if ever naa manggaling, no, sa inyo diri. So please submit your PWD certificate, no, para mahibaw na mo nga naaday ani, no, sa inyong section or sa inyong course. And as early as now, no, pahibaw-on mi ninyo nga naamoy ingana nga disabilities. If you need an immediate accommodation for equal access, please inform me as your instructor for laboratory instructor and your lecture instructor para matagaan mo og attention. Then let's go to the formative and summative assignments. So mao ni ang mga ginahatag nga academic activities or assessment activities, no, to evaluate your learnings in this course. So first is we have weekly reading assignments or homework. So naipabasa, naihatag sa inyo nga materials, no, para mabasa ninyo, then nasiguro assessment activities nga ihatag ana like quizzes, assignment or so on. So kani si reading assignment is you know, no, dili man jud nato matakal tanan in just 2 hours, no, sa ato ang lectures. And dili pod matakal nato tanan or ma-execute nato tanan in just 6 hours, no, sa laboratory field exercises. So required reading assignments or sa reading assignments are the one, no, nga to supplement your answers, no, sa inyong mga pangutana. Next is forums and workshops or fora or workshops. So discussion forum will be set up to allow you to easily give feedback during and after the delivery of some topic or topics. So nakikitawag na ungraded and graded. Example sa graded forums is kana naihatag nga activity si instructor, no, na question ihatag sa imo ha. Okay, example, in 5 bullets, what are your learnings in the said topics nga gidiscuss nato karon. So ayan na, example na siya, no, for forums. And ungraded na mga forums, for example, mo collect lang may information sa inyo, for example, no, your course expectation. So that's ungraded workshops. And ang kalainan lang ni forums of the workshop, si forum is only instructor can give grades, no? While sa workshops, your classmates are the one who are going to assess your outputs. No? So, more na siya as a summary for workshops and forums. Next is assignments, no? So, it consists of essay, summarizing what you have learned about a topic or subtopic, or discussion about a particular subject covered in the topic. So, it can also in a form of reports or term papers. No? That's an assignment. Next is quizzes, no? Short quizzes or long quizzes. No? So, in this part, no, para ma-assess po kung nakasabot bagid mo. No? So, quizzes are pwede siya in a form of multiple choices, true or false. Sa tawag na, fill in the blanks, no? Matching types. So, that's mga example, no, on how we deliver quizzes and long quizzes, short quizzes and long quizzes. Next is problem sets, no. Problem sets will also be given for you to practice solving computational problems covered by the course, no? So again, dili man jud nato ma-discuss, no. So bisag gusto ko nato na taas ang oras to have a computational processes or katong mga computational problems, pero kulangon ang oras, so morning si problem sets. So mo ni ang mag-allow sa inyo na maka-practice mo solving, given nga kamo ang nagbuhat sa inyong problem sets, no? Next is laboratory exercise. So dili na ko mosulod as your laboratory instructors, no? So laboratory exercises are an important part of this course, specifically, no, kanang mo-execute man kita sa atong na-learn from the lectures, no? So from lectures, ato din siyang i-apply sa ato ang laboratory exercises, the actual scenario. This will allow you to experience the practical applications of the theories or concepts that you have learned in the lecture. Then we have also laboratory quizzes. So ihatag ni siya after 2 laboratory exercises. No? Magpa-quiz ko on katong mga process involved or katong inyong buhat or gi-apply, no, sa during sa inyong laboratory procedures. So it may include questions on the specific steps or procedures that were implemented in the laboratory exercises. Mo nang importante na mo attend mo during laboratory exercise. Okay, para maka-answer. Dili lang kay si leader ang maning kamot para ma-execute to siya nga specific laboratory exercises. Okay, tanan mo take og laboratory quiz. Next is major exams, no? For major exams, there will be 2 major exams in this course, the midterm and the final. So for midterm, week 1 to 9, and the final exam, comprehensive and covers all the course topics. No? So muna siya ang coverage for midterm and finals. So let's go to the grading practices and policies. All graded course requirements have corresponding submission and compliance deadlines. So naihatag nga tahay na quiz number 1. So of course nalagid na siya deadlines, no, nga corresponding. So kintabi naamoy 1 week to take that quiz, no, pero in a 10-minute lang nga span. So students shall ensure that these deadlines are strictly followed, no. Again, kung dili ninyo na siya ma-take, no, so na consequences. For example, minusan na mo or patakon lang mo for the sake para dili mo ma-INC, pero automatic na mo adto 0. So example na, no, for grading practices and policies. Only submissions compliance within the deadline will be graded, no? Opportunity for submission compliance within the deadline will be given to students with valid reason. Example, for valid reasons, kasakit, so dapat mag-present og medical certificate, or nabagyuhan, nabahaan, no, kanang mga uncontrollable nga mga events. So dapat na pud mo ipakita na proof, no, nga wala mo ka take ani tungod kay nabahaan mo or nabagyuhan. So that's Pero dapat i-inform nimo, no? I-inform nimo sa imong instructor, no? If kana nga case is na experience ninyo. So nga na lang. And next is short quizzes that are given after topic. Subtopic can be attempted by the students only once, no? Kas ara jud ninyo pwede i-attempt ang mga quizzes. In some instances, instructor may allow the students to have multiple attempts, no? Dapat abot mo og 60% or higher, no? Para makapasar mo sa quiz. Then, specific policy on laboratory exercises. Conduct laboratory exercises is not optional. So, these are required. Wala tay excuse ani, no? Tananta mo take og laboratory exercises. All students must perform this activity and must submit the corresponding outputs, reports, and worksheets. Depende kung unsa gipangayo sa instructor. The only submission with the deadline will be graded, and the late submissions without a valid reasons will be accepted, ma-accept siya, pero dapat na siya consequences. Example, moingon ko nga, sige, comply lang para dili ka ma-INC, pero to be fair of everyone, 0 ang imong score, kaya wala man kanya abot sa deadline. Pero in that case, dapat naagid po kay valid reason, no? Nganong wala ka take adto nga laboratory exercises. Then for graded workshops, a common rubric will be utilized, no, during peer assessment to ensure fairness, no, for workshops, no. Pero usually forum raman, no, dili man siya workshop. Then for reports, term papers, essays, and the like, a rubric will be utilized during the grading. Kung natay term papers sa inyong laboratory report, no, at mga essay ng mga assessment. So, na ay rubric na nga gamiton, no? Pintahay. Sa inyong grammar, na ay 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, sa inyong level of content, no? Or level of content sa inyong report. So, napod na ay 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, para ma-secure ang fairness, no, sa grading. So, student may request to take make-up exams and quizzes by sending a formal request, no? Formal request. Pag mo yung formal request ka nang atong i-implement po on what is the proper etiquette in writing an email, no, or sending an email to a instructor. So, dapat sakto po itong pangutanan, no? Dili kay largo po, hi ma'am, hi sir, kanang kuan, ingani, wala ko ka-exam ra ba sir kay. So, kamo man ang nihangyo, no, kamo man ang murag nangayo og permission, you're asking a permission for us, no. So dapat in a right manner pod, no, kanang sakto pod na pagkasulti kay basin maka-embarrass pod ang inyong mga terms, no. And dapat mag-provide mo og proof of evidence like scan photo of your medical certificate indicating the reason of not taking the exam, or mangayo mo og permission nga ma-include ang inyong quizzes. Then students can view their progress and their scores on each graded course requirement through a course LMS page. So sa course LMS page, narito ay nakabutang na gradebook setup, so makita ninyo dito inyong scores after ma-check sa instructor. Then this is also an important nga notice, no, nga dapat an INC is only given to a student whose class standing throughout the semester is passing. So dapat pass mo, dapat mulapas mo og 60%, no. But fails to take the major examination due to valid reason. So kung gitahay need na mo submit ni instructor og grade pero naapay wala ka take og midterm tungod kinabahaan or nabagyuhan, so INC sa iyahang grade given na mo take siya og final exam, no, para ma-comply ang INC. Another one is fails to complete all requirements in this course due to a valid reason. Example, laboratory exercises. Wala siya ka laboratory exercise number 3 kaya nasakit siya. So pwede na siya. Ma-INC lang sa siya para for the sake na makapasa si instructor of grade. So next is fails to conduct any laboratory exercises and submit all the corresponding outputs, reports, and worksheets. So, inga ng INC, no? Dili pwede ihatag si INC tungod kay wala mo kaabot og 60%. No? Pag tanaw nato niya sa ato ang grading system kung pila ang percentage sa pass, fail o conditional. So, a student whose final mean percentage score falls no at 55 and below 60 shall be subject to instructor's evaluation. So, mao ni akong gitawag nga conditional. Kung moabot mo 55 to 60, no, i-assess ni instructor or evaluate ni instructor if kanang tagaan ba mo o removal or dili na, no? Kay kung dili na necessary na mo hatag og removal, like for example gagmay gid kay mong score mga 55 ra ang naray mga tulo ka estudyante na 55 for example. Tapos kung mo take sila og major mo take sila og removal exam, maglisod gyapon og i-assess man na siya, no? I-assess man of course kung asa man mo naglisod yun, wala mo ka-answer ani during exam. So, syempre kato pud ang ihatag na removal exam ni instructor, no? So that matapalan to siya or mahatagan mo chance na inyong i-take, no? And kung dili manggaling niyo na ma-fail mo or mabagsak mo sa removal exam, automatic 5 inyong grade, no? And kung mo pasar 3.0, no? Inga na ang conditional. Pero pag evaluate ni instructor na dili na siya need na muhatag og removal exams, automatic ang 55 to 60 is 5. Yan na siya. And siguro mo na pinakalas din yung part, no? So these are the teacher-student roles. No? What are the expectation? What you expected from me, no, as your instructor? So first is to teach lessons, no, and to make sure that you all understood the each topics na gina-discuss sa inyo. So expected na siya from mo as your instructor, no. Second is motivate the students, no. We are going to motivate you that whatever happens, that's a challenge, no, hagi hatag sa tua, no, and kana no nga mga tendency nga kanang almost na mawad na gana ang estudyante na maskwela. So we are here as your instructor to motivate you to continue learning. Next is to provide learning materials like this one, kaning mga PDF, no, and presentation na among gibuhat. Next is to guide you during the conduct of online class activities including the laboratory exercises. During laboratory exercises, ako nga part, so na ako during sa inyong pag-execute sa inyong laboratory kay if ever na may mga questions, so matubag na yun nato. Next is to provide consultation hours, no? Consultation hours na if ever na amoy mga ipa-consult or na amoy ipangutana in the academic matters, no? So makatabang mi ana sa inyo. Next is to implement various measures to test your knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation of the topics that have been discussed. For example, sa mga evaluation measures is the quizzes, oral recitations, sit works, reports, exam, and etc. Then also we are expected to keep accurate records, no, of your student performances. So mo na mong trabaho. So kung naapoy gi-expect sa ako as a instructor, so naapo ko gi-expect from you, which is mo na inyong mga responsibilities or your roles. So this is very important, no? So first thing yung responsibility is to study well and perform to the best of your ability, no? Ayaw paabutan na pag-abot sa panahon is mag-regret mo na may pag-ako lagi itong gitake nga quiz, wala lagi ko nagtinapulan, no? So, ayaw paabutan nga magmahay pag-abot sa panahon. Next is submit all the course requirements in the timely manner, no? Kung naihatag si instructor na assignment or other assessment activities, so you need to comply, no, all of those para makapasar, no? Next is to uphold the university's vision, mission, and goals. So, importante na nga itong ginabuhat is mo fit in siya sa goals, sa mission sa university, di ba? To have equality education, no? Yan na siya. So dapat ato po na siyang i-internalize sa ato ang kaugalingon no na kung sa day gina-vision o ginalantaw sa SU after ta graduate. So maningkamot ta na makabot nato na siya. Next is to maintain the academic integrity. So katutong di pang discuss sa ganina, no? Itong mga academic dishonesty ato to siyang i-avoid, no? Ingan ang mga samples. Next is be the best version of yourself, no, by studying smartly. I know na daghan mo mga subject, no, for this semester, daghan mo courses, mga pila pa siguro ka subject na pagin mo yung thesis, no. Pero ayun yung kalimti na kanina mga subjects is na siya corresponding na mga activities. So napod siya grades. Napod siya grades, no. So if of course, no, kung dili natin siya mahatagan o attention, so mabagsak kita, no? Mabagsak kita kung dili ta mo take sa quizzes, assignments, sa reports, laboratory exercises, mabagsak kita. So ayo i-focus ang inyong kaugalingon sa isa lang ka aspect, no? Dapat balance ang tanan. Mabiton niyo kung gibutang diri study smartly, no? Dapat na ay management sa inyong mga courses, no? Dapat dili pwede na kanang corner bitaw na bitaw na subject, na 1 unit ra bitaw na or pila na ka units, no? Bisan pa og 1 unit pero kung di niyo na ma-comply dili gid mo ka graduate, no? Mao nang dapat ang atong atensyon sa pag-study is dili lang naka-focus sa isa, no? And I hope na kasayod mo ana, no? And I know na responsible man pud mo nga mga student, no? So dapat you must be responsible and you need to study smart. Next is to learn beyond what is required. No? So, sa kong istorya pa kaganina, na all the lessons, all the learnings cannot be acquired, no, in a 2 hours nga lecture o 6 hours nga laboratory exercises. So there are many topics na need i-discuss pero limited lang ang oras. So kinahanglan mo exert jud mo og effort to comply all those requirements, no, or to comply sa learnings na inyong gusto ma-achieve, no? So dili pasabot na ang amuang exam, ang amuang quizzes is naalang gid siya sa PDF or sa PowerPoint presentation. So nayuban na gikuha na mo sa inyong further sa inyong reading assignments, no? So kinahanglan na mo explore ta, no, beyond sa ato ang box. So mo learn ta beyond sa required sa instructor. So next is for the announcement. So announcement will be posted in this section, kaning announcement sa taas, no? So naa diha please constantly check, no, the announcement if ever na ay mga post na need i-disseminate, no. For example katong sa super map, so kinahanglan jud to niyo mo appeal, no. And naadira sa nakabutang, no, sa announcement tanan na need niya information. So, and dapat i-acknowledge po ninyo, no, para makasign po mi nga naaday mo, no, na nabasahan dai ninyo. And also we have Facebook group, no, Facebook group which is ang GE121, no, Geodetic Surveying second semester AY 2021-2022. So mag-post pod mi diri no, mag-post mi sa announcement tab, mag-post pod mi diri sa Facebook group, and as an additional pwede pod mo visit sa ako ang Facebook page for your consultation and course announcement, no, DGE updates kung may lain. Pero I assume nga kung mag-message mo sa ako privately, na tendency na dili jud ako mabasa, no? And for the kani sa Facebook page, mabasa na ko siya kay murag nahimo na maguna ko siyang personal account pero for academic purposes lagi na bitaw. So ingana, no, pwede po diri sa ako ang Facebook page for announcements. And let's go to the grading system. So since this is 4 units, 2 unit lecture and 2 units laboratory, so ang pag-disseminate sa percentage is 50-50 gyapon. 50% ang lecture, 50% ang laboratory. So sa lecture, 50% consists of midterm exam, 15%, final exam, 15%. And for quizzes, we have 10%, and for workshops and assignment, 10%. And for the laboratory exercises, 50%, so ang 20% ana is ang inyong outputs and reports. Like for example, katong mga inyong computations, inyong lab report, so kana siya, mo na siya ang 20%. Then laboratory exam or practical exam, laboratory quizzes, so that's 15%. And the last 15% comes from problem sets. So all in all, we have a total of 100%. So for grading system, may no, ginasunod na to before. So ang crucial na rin nga part is ang kaning conditional, no? 55 to 60. Conditional pasabot subject for instructor's evaluation. Kung need pa ba siya magpa-removal or dili na. Kung magpa-removal sa instructor, pag mo pass 3.0 ang grade, and pag ma-fail is 5.0. For my consultation, no, for my consultation hours, it can be done, no, through our FB page or sa katong akong gi-introduce kayo nga Facebook page. And also you can contact us through LMS chat and sa ato ang Facebook group, no. Pwede po mo ito mag-ask ng question, mag-post. Okay, I think that's the end of our presentation, and nabay mga pangutana based atong chat. Na question? Okay. So, if you have questions regarding our discussion today, is again, no, makontak namin ninyo sa katong akong gipanghatag na social media accounts, no, and sa LMS chat. Alright, so manako. Okay pa ba ta? Okay pa. Kamusta naman mo? Paningog po, uy. Naman ni sila, be. Pakita ko sa yung dagway. Oh, yes, Miss Pomoy. Yes, ang question. Oh, Yes, na-discuss naman na ganyan na, no? Pero, yes, I would like to confirm kay ang among initial dyan ni ma'am na initial na mo nasabot ni ma'am is kanalagi para di mangod kay ang tendency mangod if maglahi-lahi ni og LMS na tendency na ang activity nako lahi sa activity ni ma'am Yam. So nag-decide na lang ni nga sige ma'am, ato na lang isa lang ka LMS page, then I will be the one responsible for delivering the laboratory exercises, and she will be responsible for the lectures, no. Kay nagduha-duha siya actually kung laboratory ba daw siya or lecture, pero siya nga ay mabusy daw siya for the next succeeding month. So pwede naman niya ma-deliver iyang part through online, no. Sa ako kay need magigwatog field, no, need na to na makita ta i-execute ang different laboratory exercises. So yung ana, no, ako inyong lab instructor, si ma'am inyong lecture. So is that clear? Okay ra ba ta? Sagot ra mo ana. Okay, sige. Any more questions? So, be, tanaw natin yung mga dagway. Oh, yes, Mr. Manlimbana. FB page. Okay. May taran ninyo akong pangalan, oy. Kana siya. Group. Wala po muna. Nasa LMS announcement. Nasa LMS announcement nakabutang. Okay. Napay question? Yes, Miss Pumoy again. Yes, we are proposing for a face-to-face major exam. Midterm and final. So, amo pa nang i-strategize ni ma'am kung saan manggaling siya. Hindi magit pwede nakamutanan. So, Sige lang, samo lang na end. Basta kay, i-propose naman na face-to-face ang exam. Besides sa laboratory exercises. Naapa, question? Mag-start presenting na lang. Naapa ba? Question? Hello? Sige, kung wala na question, sige, may I request everyone to turn on your cameras para makita po na ko inyong mga beautiful faces. Uy, pila na takamans, wala nakita. Madungan pa ba ko? Madungan pa ko? Aw, sus. Kana pa para mahalin ang dali. Sige. Okay, ang walay cam, okay ra, sige lang. Okay lang. Ang importante, buhi. Charot. Sige. Again na, may I request everyone to turn on their cameras so that we can see your beautiful faces. Sige, sa first, nag-uban. Kisa man na dira, si Mario, kisa man. Si uban mo dyan, Mario. Ano na dahi na karon, no? Uban na dahi mo kuhan. Nag-boarding house na ba ang uban? So, pwede na dyan mag face-to-face, no? Sige, sa first page, so, in a count of 3, say cheese, no? 3, 2, 1, and smile. Okay, ay isa ha. Ako sang i-paste for the next na slide. Okay, next slide. Okay, last slide. So, in 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, so see you, no, in CSU for the next months for our face-to-face implementation of laboratory exercises. Sige, bye-bye everyone. God bless. Keep safe as always. Okay. Sige, bye-bye. Bye-bye everyone.